Alright, we are here back live to break down the team on the screen right now, the New York Giants and Lawrence Taylor. This should be a good stream. They are a top team in Tecmo Super Bowl, one to be feared for sure. So, the New York Giants out of the NFC East, they are a top team in this game. Why? Because in 1990, they won the Super Bowl. This game came out in 1991, so the ratings of the players are based off the 1990 season, so they are a top team. In 1991, what did the Giants actually do? They went 8-8 and missed the playoffs. That was very shocking to me. But hey, it happens in the NFL. You know, injuries happen. Free agency. Teams go downhill. And the chat box is live, and we got some messages already. You did coke with LT in NYC back in 88. It's very possible. The New York Giants were good. At the Tecmo Madison tournament, there's a tradition that they read a quote from the book of LT, and let me tell you, it's always hilarious. This guy, he was quite the character, and quite the football player, and you'll see that with his ratings in this game. So let's start off with the quarterback, Phil Simms. He is a very good quarterback in this game. That 63 pass control is going to lead to some covered catches, to a lot of completions. Passing speed 50, that's a little bit above average for this game. Accuracy of passing 63, don't pay attention to that statistic, it doesn't do anything. And 81 pass block is very good. Phil Simms is going to be throwing over the top of the D-line and linebacking core. So not as many block passes when you're throwing with Phil Simms. Jeff Hostetler, you're never going to really put him in. If I could say anything good about him, his maximum speed's a 25, so he's a little bit of a scrambling quarterback. But Jeff Hostetler didn't get the best ratings in this game. He probably should have got a little bit of a boost, but it is what it is. You'll be leaving Phil Simms in for the duration if you play with the New York Giants. Simms was a decent QB, terrible announcer. Yeah, Phil Simms is a CBS announcer currently. I like him as an announcer, but everyone has their opinions. I think he brings a lot to the table as far as his insight, but he's very, his insight sometimes very simplified. But, he's doing it. He's been there a long time, so he must be doing something right. You got to look at the running backs now. Ottis Anderson, hitting power 88. He is going to be busting through some tackles, popcorning some guys, and that maximum speed of 50 is nothing to sneeze at either. He's got some good speed on him. Ball control 75, not too many fumbles from him. David Meggett. Now, my cousin had a Hostetler Raiders jersey. Yeah, I would say that's when he was at the top of his game, Jeff Hostetler. David Meggett, he's your speed running back, 56 maximum speed. Hitting power, not too good. He could get pancaked by guys like Mike Singletary and Lawrence Taylor, but he's on his own team, so that will never happen. Ball control, 75, less fumbles out of him. 50 receptions, that's good for a quick running back like David Meggett. Ottis Anderson only has that 31 receptions, but Phil Simms' high pass control rating will help out with that, so you shouldn't get any real... There's really not much of a chance for dropped balls from your running backs. Who do I got in NFL games today? I'm going with the Texans over the Raiders. I just think the Raiders without David Carr are a shell of themselves, and the Texans have been doing whatever they can with whether it's Osweiler or Savage in there. And Seahawks-Lions, I have the Seahawks winning. but I would like to see the Lions win. That would be great. They don't make the playoffs too often, and last year the Seahawks should have lost to the Vikings, and they missed that chip shot field goal. So I'd love to see the Lions win. Yeah, David Meggett was a good returner. All right, let's look at their backup running backs. Maurice Carthen, 25 maximum speed, 44 hitting power. You're not going to be seeing him on the field. There's no reason for it. Rodney Hampton, 63 ball control, but again, 31 maximum speed. So it's going to be pretty much the Ottis Anderson and David Meggett show in your backfield. So Mark Ingram, he's got good speed, 56, receptions 50, not too great, but that speed is going to help you out a lot, moving the ball down the field with the New York Giants. That is indeed a young Rodney Hampton there. He didn't quite have the ratings he needed yet. Raiders all day, Texans blow without. Yeah, I still think the Texans got it. We'll see what happens. Stephen Baker, he's your highest in receptions on this team with 56 receptions. 56 maximum speed. That's also quick. So you have a lot of speed on the outside with the New York Giants. The one knock is their receptions, the ratings on receptions on the receivers. But Phil Simms' pass control is pretty high with the 63, so you'll still get some covered catches with the Giants. So it's not going to hurt you too much that they're not maxed out at an 81 or 75. Stacy Robinson, he's going to be staying on the bench. Another thing, the Giants are, they're a team that also has a lot of guys with high ball control, 63, 69 for Stephen Baker. It's not quite maxed out like the Redskins with that 81, but they're still less likely to fumble. And for good reason. They were the Super Bowl champions. Odessa Turner, another guy. Ratings are bad. 25 maximum speed. Yeah, he's staying on the bench for sure. Mark Bavaro, the tight end. Good hitting power, 69. Not top on the team, so at kick return and punt returner, you're still going to put Ottis Anderson and try to get some popcorns. Ball control's high at 69, 44 receptions. That's all right. But you'll hit Mark Bavaro for some shots over the middle. So you will utilize him. Howard Cross, he's got 56 hitting power, but his speed's not too good, so neither are his receptions. So he'll be on the bench too. You got drunk in a Milwaukee bar with former Milwaukee Buck Vin Baker. All right. So the Giants' offensive line is above average to strong. Two of the guys that were in the Pro Bowl, Bart Oates and William Roberts, in that season, they actually got the lower end of the rating on the hitting power. 50 for Bart Oates, 56 for William Roberts. But the rest of the guys, 63 for Eric Moore, that's very strong. John Elliott is just a straight beast, 75 hitting power. And then your right tackle, only a 50 hitting power. That 31 maximum speed is going to be your kick returner's maximum speed. Keep that in mind. 31 is not too shabby, so you'll be able to get some returns going with Ottis Anderson. Kicker, average. Keep that in mind. 63, avoid kick block. Sean Landetta, what a boot on this boy. But if you're punting with the Giants too often, you definitely got some problems. So you shouldn't be using Sean Landetta too much. Okay, this is what it comes down to with the Giants. The defense. Now, the defensive line, the front three, they're nothing special, but they're not bad players by any means. Leonard Marshall, 38 maximum speed, 56 hitting power is pretty good. Eric Howard, 38 maximum speed, 50 hitting power, 50 quickness. Don't pay attention to that. It doesn't do anything. Quickness rating is just there for show. And then Eric Dorsey, another 38 maximum speed, 50 hitting power. So these guys can hold their own on the line. They're not going to be doing much as far as getting sacks for you, but they are there to back up or be the front line for the rest of the back 8, and that is where the Giants excel at the top line of this game. Does the O-line stats really matter? Yes, the O-line stats do matter, because if there's strong defensive linemen or outside linebackers coming in on those poor offensive linemen, they can easily be thrown off, and there'll be a good defensive player coming at your quarterback for that QB sack. So you want to look out for that. Yes, the O-line stats do matter. So don't overlook them. So here he is, the best linebacker in this game, Lawrence Taylor. Wow, look at those stats. 44 running speed at the snap of the ball, accelerating at a rushing power of 56, and a 69 maximum speed, 75 hitting power. He's going to be flattening some ball carriers. You won't even have to get into a grapple tackle situation. He'll just flatten some of those guys. 31 interceptions is all right. 81 quickness looks impressive, but again, that stat doesn't do anything. So he is one guy on the defense you will want to use or control, Lawrence Taylor. Pepper Johnson, inside linebacker. Another impact player here. 56 maximum speed, 69 hitting power, 31 interceptions. Pepper Johnson's a good guy. If you want to put pressure on their opposing quarterbacks, blitz them right down the middle, and he'll be coming in hard. Gary Reasons, at first he doesn't look too special. Might be one of the weakest linebackers on the team, but no, he still has a 44 maximum speed, and where he excels is that interception rating, 63 for a linebacker. Are you kidding me? This is a guy that's great in coverage. You might want to use or control him in select situations if you want to bring a linebacker back to have better coverage, to get an interception, to make some incompletions happen, pass deflections. Gary Reason is your guy. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, LT for sure. Carl Banks, at the other linebacker position, 50 maximum speed, 63 hitting power. So these guys are hitting hard for sure, this linebacking core. Gary Reason is your guy in pass coverage. And then the secondary is very strong as well. You could bounce between these two corners. Everson Walls has that higher interception rating at 63, but he has that 56 maximum speed. You can use or control him as well as Mark Collins, 56 maximum speed, 44 interceptions, 50 hitting power, good hitting corners, and your safeties are strong as well, or they're above average. I wouldn't say they're top of the line stars, but they're above average players. 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power. Usually you can switch between some safeties for user control, but there's so many good options on the Giants defense. You will probably not control the safeties and just let them do their thing, but they will help you out. And then Greg Jackson, your strong safety. 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power, 56 interceptions. Also, your punt returner will be taking the strong safeties, maximum speed, and that is 50. So Ottis Anderson will be having a 50 maximum speed on that punt return due to Greg Jackson's strong safety rating. Yes, best D in the game. You remember Pepper Johnson when he was on the Cleveland Browns? Yeah, that's quite the memory you got there. Okay, so the New York Giants defense, that is where it's at. That is where the Giants will take over games, but a strong offense to go along with it. All right, let's go to look at the matchups. So New York Giants, top team in the game. In Tecmo Madison, you won't see them called too often at all. Why? Because a lot of the better players, a lot of the elite players, they don't want to see games decided by things that aren't considered skill. Now, that happens anyways. We all know what a JJ is, the jumping jackass, the jumping catch, the 100-yard bombs down the field. Those do happen in tournament play, and for good reason. That's, the gambling part of Tecmo Super Bowl. That's what makes it so exciting, plays like that. But the Giants, wow, they are just so strong. They are the one team in this game where I can say the drone defense will take over games. I have another video on this channel where we play a Christmas Eve tournament. We've been doing it for 11 years. And, there's players ranking like me and my cousin who are good players to, people who are holding the controller like this, a.k.a. my dad, holding it like a camera. It's not how you hold trying to pick the plays like this. But the team that upsets all the time is the Giants, and it's because their defense can literally, their drone defense can take over the game and win you it. In the last year's Christmas Eve tournament, or this last year, my wife Crystal, she upset first round, almost upset second round. In the past, my cousin Lindsay, she was the Giants. She upset first round, almost upset my cousin Sean with the Giants. And then the only year that I lost in the Christmas Eve tournament, which was a little bit of a conspiracy, they passed up all the other teams so my cousin Sean could get the Giants. I lost to the Giants with the Rams. And they're just a force to be reckoned with. You would dominate their own Tecmo, I bet. So the Giants are a force to be reckoned with. There's only two teams I would match the Giants up against, and that is the Buffalo Bills, which they played in the Super Bowl this year. The Buffalo Bills, they have a strong passing game, strong running game, strong defense. So you have all phases of the game covered there, as do the Giants. The other team is the 49ers. The 49ers have that scary pass game, covered catches all day long. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Brent Jones, Joe Montana, John Taylor, Joe Montana, Roger Craig. The 49ers run game isn't as strong, but they got Tom Rathman with that strong hitting power. And they have Roger Craig with that 50 maximum speed. So they do have a little bit of a running game there, and their defense is comparable. Although I don't see it take over like the Giants' defense does. 49ers and Bills, yeah, I'm sure you can win a game with the Colts over them. I don't know about that. I wouldn't even though I said with the Bills I'd match them up against the Oilers as well. I don't like the Giants-Oilers matchup. You're really just removing your run game if you pick the Giants versus the Oilers. The Oilers got a strong passing game and a strong D, but Lorenzo White, due to the rule that you can't put a wide receiver at running back in the Tecmo Madison tournament, he's not going to cut it with that 44 maximum speed. It's going to look like 31 maximum speed against the Giants defense. So don't even try it. If it was in a tournament, I would never call the Giants in any matchup. If my opponent called that of Giants versus anybody else, I'm most likely taking the Giants. They just have the X factor in this game. I don't know if there's something extra programmed in their AI. Sometimes to me it looks like it. But I would take the Giants over the 49ers and the Bills. It's tough to take them over the 49ers because their passing game's so scary. But those are the two teams you would match them up with. So I'm going to play Giants 49ers, a showstopper game. And let's get in it. This is usually the first, I believe this is the first game of the regular season. And a lot of times, if you play through Tecmo seasons, it can determine, which team's going to go 15-1 or not. Because these are two of the strongest teams. Roger Craig was an underrated running back. Yeah, but, he's overshadowed by guys like Jerry Rice, Brent Jones, Joe Montana, John Taylor. What can you do? All right, chat box is open. I'll continue responding to those, and let's get to it. Dexter Carter. All right, so Lawrence Taylor's going to be flying around this game, and they run the bootleg. Oh, wow. Joe Montana misses the receiver. You don't see that too often. So this play is a dead giveaway. It's always a passing play based on the formation. Be ready to play that. And there you go. That's why you fear the 49ers. Those covered catches. And there you go. Great defensive position. Can't stop Brent Jones. So that's why, typically you're going to use Lawrence Taylor a lot when you're on defense, but versus a team like the 49ers, where the pass control of the quarterback and reception rating of the receivers is so high, you might be better off choosing Gary Reasons or Everson Walls. You want a guy with a higher interception rating to try to break up those passes. And there you go, the Giants. They'll flatten you with that hitting power and make you fumble. I don't think the hitting power has anything actually to do with the fumbles, but it seems like the Giants will force you to fumble a lot. There's no way I'm going to lose at a computer. I hope not. I hope I don't lose at a computer on any of these streams in a preseason game. Okay, so I switched up the playbook a little bit. And this play down here doesn't match any of my other plays, so I don't know why I chose that one. Because you got the split back field on pass one. And none of my other plays look like that. So with the Giants, you want to utilize both of your running backs. If you can get 2 run plays for each running back, that would be beneficial. Right now I'm running 3 to Ottis Anderson and 1 to David Meggett. You want to check their conditions throughout the game to see who you should be running more often. Because if David Meggett goes into excellent condition, he's going to be super fast. Same thing with Ottis Anderson. He's going to be popcorning. If he gets into 56 maximum speed, forget about it. So the Giants, they have a really scary run game with the combination of those 2 backs. There's probably 2 other teams that have a combination of backfield like the Giants, and that's the Raiders, of course, with Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen, and then the Lions with Barry Sanders and Mel Gray. Those are 2 teams with 2 strong running backs. Oilers all day. Oilers got that pass game. You can't mess with that. But I'm not feeling their run game too much. Especially with the poor ball control of Lorenzo White. He's going to be fumbling when you run him too. Forget him. Former MLB player Otis Nixon. So that was a terrible punt by the computer. So, it depends how much time you have to prepare for the tournament. I would say the elite players, they're good with most of these plays. There's a jumping catch for a touchdown. So, I have seen players switch their playbook depending on what team they are and who they're playing against. So they'll switch plays throughout the tournament depending on that. That's not my strategy. I like to pick the 8 plays I'm most comfortable with, 4 run and 4 pass, of course, and just ride those out the whole tournament. And depending on how much time you have to prepare, if you're newer to the tournament, I would recommend just getting really comfortable with 8 plays and riding those out the whole way. probably not going to have enough time to prepare using all these plays. But the cool thing about Tecmo Super Bowl is a lot of the play, especially, well, the whole, everything, offensively, defensively, it's instinctual. You know, if you're scrambling away from a guy like Lawrence Taylor, you're just trying to find the open receiver and trying to throw off the user defensive player. Seen Ottis Nixon snort the better spots. Another jumping catch to Ottis Anderson. So versus the 49ers defense, they have a really strong defense. You're not going to see Ottis Anderson popcorning too many guys because they have strong hitting power with their defensive players and safeties. But a lot of speed on the outside for the Giants. That's what I like about them. That 56 maximum speed. You can hit some deep balls down the field. Who do I got tomorrow between Miami, Pittsburgh, and New York versus Green Bay? I'm going to have to take Pittsburgh at home. That one looks like a no-brainer, although the Dolphins have been surprising everyone all season long. What does popcorn mean? Popcorn means in Tecmo Super Bowl when you run into a defensive player, and usually you get into that grapple where you have to tap A really fast to see who's either going to tackle or break the tackle. A popcorn is when the guy that has the ball is so strong that the guy just goes flying off of him across the field. And it looks like he popcorns because he's flying like across the whole field. You know, 25 yards down the field. It looks like he's a piece of popcorn popping. So that's where the term comes from. So you've probably heard me say that in a lot of these videos. And that's what popcorn means. But yeah, the other matchup, New York Giants, Green Bay. Everyone thinks Green Bay is rolling. They're at home, I believe. They won the division. But I'm picking the Giants in that one. That's the one where I don't think I'm going with the favorite. The Giants' defense has been playing great. And they got the Odell Beckham factor on offense. Eli Manning finds a way to get it done. Popcorn someone then? Well, that's what I said. It's not easy to popcorn players on the 49ers because they have strong defensive ratings. But if you play like a team like the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, they have so many weak defenders that popcorns happen all day long. There's the JJ. See right there? That's not quite a popcorn because I had to tap A to throw him. If I was playing in the tournament and there was a user defender back there, I would have to make sure I can out-tap that guy. Now, like I said, I'm an average tapper to maybe above average. I would just say average, though. So I don't know if I win that matchup if it's not a drone. You're usually going to be able to out-tap the drone if you have any tap ability. Ronnie Lott ain't no punk. That's right. And there it is, the skirt on the halftime show. David Meggett for the return. So, I guess I didn't switch out. What I should have done before the game is put Ottis Anderson back there. Don't overlook the kick returns. Kick returns for touchdowns happen more frequently than punt returns. I honestly can't say I've done a punt return maybe once or twice ever in this game, but they're very hard to take back for a touchdown. I can't remember if I've ever done it. You're a championship type tapper. You better be ready to tap. If you want to win in Tecmo Super Bowl, that extra tap ability is going to get you places. I remember the first Tecmo Madison tournament I played in, Tecmo 6. It was the most prepared that I was for any of the Tecmo tournaments. It was my first one. I played on TPC, Tecmo Player Circuit Online, for about a year and a half. Going into that tournament, I was number one on TPC. And the rankings for the first time. And I was feeling really good about it. There was still when people were playing quite a bit on TPC and using AOL Instant Messengers to get games. And, you know, I made it to the bracket round. I won my first round, and I came up against Mort in Tecmo 6. And, you know, I don't really know anyone at this point. I was winning that game by 11, I want to say. And it was a Bengals-Chiefs matchup, and I was the Bengals. And he ended up coming back to force overtime. He won the toss in overtime and won the game. I could not stop his running game. He was out. He's a tapper, this guy, Mort. And you don't want to mess with that. So there you go. That JJ on this shotgun play is quite easy to do. You get the timing right. But yes, Mort went on to win that tournament. So I felt he was a really good player at the time. This is when I was most prepared for the tournament. I felt like he was a really good player, and I could tell by his tapping ability. But I feel like I blew that game. So to find out he won that tournament, I was pretty disappointed because I knew how close I actually was at that point in time. And, you know, you kind of feel a sense of pride, too. The guy you lost to in overtime won the tournament. But still, you know how close you are in those type of moments. And I haven't been getting that many reps ever since. So I'm trying to get them in now. I haven't been playing online. Got to bring back TPC. I don't think most TPC, I'm not going to say it's dead. I still see some games being played on there, but it's definitely not what it was. You can pretty much get a game at all times. When I played it back, almost 7 years ago now. It was also when the tournament, the guy who won the last tournament, Joey Gatz. I remember this is when he first started playing too, and that guy was on at any time of night. If you wanted to get a Tecmo game, and it was 3:30 in the morning, Joey Gatz is your guy. And I beat him quite a few times back in the day. Don't know if I could do it now. Haven't played him in quite some years, but he looked pretty sharp at this last tournament. But the thing about his play style is it's almost like, and you could tell if you played him early on in Tecmo Super Bowl, it's almost like he played it more as a competitive video game than a competitive football video game. Not, you know, the things he would do is almost like he didn't have respect for the game of football per se. Very good player though. It seems like he had to play more football-like as he got better. But when he first started playing, he would just go all the way back like this, just going back and just throwing bombs like, 3 or 4 downs in a row. I'm like, what is this guy doing? But, he's just testing the extremes of the games, seeing what he could get away with. Oh. See, I tried to hit the JJ there. I'm going to try to do it again. I don't pick this shotgun play in my playbook, but I do like... There we go. I think I got it. Diving catch for a touchdown. So it's always a little bit risky throwing it because the JJ doesn't always happen, or that diving catch, but it definitely can happen. So if you're coming to the Tecmo Madison tournament, come in with a lot of confidence. Don't do too much research on the guys that you're playing. But you also want to go to the Tecmo Super Bowl YouTube channel and watch some of the games in past tournaments. And like I said, you want to see where those players are lining up on defense, what offensive plays they're picking in their playbook. And there, Jerry Rice, he had to score 1 touchdown on me. Caught me snoozing. But yeah, see how they're playing? Just watching those games will give you a lot of insight into where your game needs to be at if you're going to be competitive at this tournament. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. I like that. David Meggett takes it. They went for the onside like they're going to come back. Oh, I could have took that one to the house. They got wings at the Tecmo Super Bowl tournament, most likely. Man, Stephen Baker's just killing on this play. Phil Simms is feeling it. That play just can't be stopped right now by the 49ers. They can't catch on. But get your reps in. Get your tap reps in. Decide right now if you watch this video, if you're watching it now, if you watch it later, how are you going to tap? Are you going to tap with your thumb and try to out-tap? I am. It's probably stupid. But are you going to switch your controller, grip and do it like this? You might be better off. You better be ready to tap. You better be ready to sweat. And you better be ready to drink some beers. Because you're going to need them if you have a couple tough rounds. See, right there, I didn't even have to tap to knock down to knock down John Taylor with Lawrence Taylor. He just flattened him because Lawrence Taylor's hitting power is so strong. I don't even have to get into a grapple with him. So that's not called a popcorn because the guy doesn't get thrown across the field. It's more of like a pancake. Yeah, people throw down wings. They throw down burgers, fries, everything at these tournaments. It's great to check out. Even if you don't play in the tournament, if you're intimidated by it, from what I hear, they got Bo Jackson and Jerry Rice coming to the tournament this year. It's a spectacle indeed. ESPN covers the event. I would recommend being there, showing up, soaking it up. Guys will be wearing old school football jerseys from the late 80s into the 90s. It's always good to see those. There'll be really drunk people there saying hilarious things about stuff that only NFL fans and Tecmoers would understand. So it is a place you want to check out. New York Giants. Barely paid attention while I played that game, and it felt good. Phil Simms was on top of his game. Mark Ingram caught some bombs. Barely ran, but Ottis Anderson had a couple good ones. And the final score is 56-9. So to recap, in my opinion, the New York Giants are the scariest team in this game. In a Tecmo Madison tournament, I don't know if I'm picking a matchup with them. If you want to try to pick the Giants matchup, pick it with the Bills or the 49ers. Maybe your opponent will bite on the 49ers, give you a chance. Maybe you wanted to use the New York Giants. They might pick the 49ers. I don't know if they'll pick the Bills over the 49ers or the Bills over the Giants, but they might because the Bills got that better pass control. They have a faster running back, and they also got a strong defense. LT love cocaine, yes. And if you come to the tournament and you hear the quotes from the book of LT, I can't deny that might have been the case. But the Giants are strong. The Giants are incredible. Their drone defense is superior. So the Giants, I would stay away from picking them. But like I said, if you have to, those are the two teams to go against. Bills, 49ers. So up next, we will have the Philadelphia Eagles, QB Eagles, the legend Randall Cunningham, decided not to sign with the Players Association. So he's not in this game, but we all know who it is. So they'll be on deck. If you watch the live stream, if you were commenting, thank you. If you didn't see this live, check it out. Comment below. Let me know what you think. We'll be back soon with the Philadelphia Eagles.